I returned from a business trip to find my house sold. I pulled into my driveway and my world exploded. Sold! The yellow sign stabbed into my front lawn like a knife. My house, the one I'd bled money for, sacrificed for, worked 60-hour weeks to keep, sold while I was gone. My belongings were dumped on the curb like garbage. 5 years of mortgage payments, 5 years of their emergencies, 5 years of being the family ATM, and this is how they repaid me. My sister's car sat in my driveway like she owned it. What the hell had they done? Rebecca. Jennifer emerged from the front door, my front door, flanked by my brother Marcus and our mother, Eleanor. Their expressions were carefully arranged, like they'd practiced this moment. We need to talk. Talk about what? I gestured toward the sign. About how my house apparently sold itself while I was gone? Marcus cleared his throat, the same way he used to before lying about who ate the last cookie. We made a family decision while you were away. A family decision. I repeated the words slowly, tasting their bitter edge. About my house. Let's be realistic, Jennifer said, crossing her arms. You're never here anyway, always traveling for work, always putting your career before family. The house needed repairs, Eleanor added, her voice carrying that familiar tone of maternal disappointment. The foundation, the roof, we couldn't keep asking you to. Asking me to what? Pay for everything? The words came out sharper than I intended. Marcus stepped forward, and I noticed he'd gained weight. Stress eating, probably. Mom's name is still on the deed from when Dad passed. Legally, she can do whatever she wants. We sold to a lovely young couple, Jennifer continued as if this were normal dinner conversation. First-time homeowners, Maria Santos handled everything. You remember her from my nursing program? How much? I asked. The silence stretched between us like a chasm. How much did you sell it for? $445. Marcus muttered. 445,000. I did the math automatically. Forensic accounting habits die hard. When the market value is 520? We needed to price it to move, Jennifer said defensively. The buyers were pre-approved, cash down payment. Maria said, who gets the money? Another silence, longer this time. You'll understand when you have a family to worry about, sweetheart? Eleanor said finally. When you're older? I was 34 years old, standing there in my own driveway, listening to my family explain how they'd erased me from my own life. I couldn't help but think about receipts. Grandma Rose always said, keep your receipts, honey, when numbers don't lie like people do. I had every receipt. 5 years of being their financial solution. Dad's death left us $73,000 in debt. I used my entire $85,000 inheritance to save this house, becoming 50% owner. The 1947 monthly mortgage? Mine. Marcus moved in temporarily after his divorce. Gambling debts, I later learned, and paid rent for exactly 3 months. Jennifer's endless emergencies, orthodontics, car loans, nursing school. Eleanor's medical bills that never seemed to end. The total damage, $1,800 of my money keeping this family afloat. Marcus's desperation made sense now. His bookie didn't take IOUs. Jennifer's guilt about Emma's college fund had been eating at her for months. Even Eleanor, torn between loving her daughter and needing financial security, had convinced herself this theft was somehow fair. For 5 years, I'd been their exit strategy. Now they were cashing out. Numbers don't lie like people do, I whispered, watching my breath fog in the October air. You can't just lock me out of my own house, I said. Key poised at the front door. Actually, Marcus said, appearing in the doorway. Locks got changed yesterday, security upgrade. The deadbolt was different. Quickset instead of the schlage I'd installed 3 years ago. The garage code had been changed from Emma's birthday to something I didn't know. Even the back door had a new lock, plus a Ring doorbell I'd never authorized. If you try to break in, Marcus continued, I'll call the cops for trespassing. Trespassing, it's my house. Is it, though? 2 hours later, Officer Martinez from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office stood in the same driveway, taking notes. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but this is a civil matter. If they're on the deed and they change the locks, there's not much we can do tonight." "What am I supposed to do? Sleep in my car?" "I'd suggest calling a lawyer Monday morning. File an incident report if you want. Case number MC 2024-10847. The Extended Stay America off Highway 26 had exactly one room available. Number 237 with stained carpet and a heater that sounded like someone dying. $89 a night, which my credit card barely accepted. I made a Walmart run for basics. Toiletries, phone charger, 3 days worth of clothes, while my family settled into the house I'd bought and paid for. The total came to $127, charged to the same credit card that had been paying for their lives for half a decade. That night, sitting in the hotel parking lot at 11:47 p.m., I found Grandma Rose's jewelry box in one of the garbage bags, crushed under contractor debris, her wedding ring bent beyond repair, the mother-of-pearl hair combs she'd worn to church every Sunday shattered into pieces, her handwritten recipe cards, the ones with notes like, "Add extra vanilla for Rebecca, she loves it sweet," were rain-soaked and illegible. I cried for the first time since Dad's funeral, but when I was done crying, I started thinking. And when I start thinking about patterns and discrepancies, people usually end up in prison. Jennifer had left her phone unlocked during our family meeting, force of habit. She'd always been careless with security. While she was busy explaining why stealing my house was actually good for me, I'd glanced at her message history. Email. Subject, timeline for Empire Street sale. From Jennifer to Marcus. September 15th text. Once she leaves for Portland conference, we move fast. Maria says 10-day close possible if we price to move. They'd been planning this for 6 weeks. The Multnomah County Recorder's Office opened at 8 a.m. sharp. $25 for a title search revealed what I already knew. The property required 2 signatures for any sale. 50-50 ownership meant 50-50 decision-making. Only Eleanor's signature appeared on the recorded documents, notarized October 18th. There was no record of my signature, no power of attorney, no legal authorization for anyone to sign on my behalf. I called Pacific Northwest Title and Escrow from the recorder's office parking lot. Sarah Chen speaking. "This is Rebecca Walsh. I understand you're handling the sale of 2847 Maple Street?" A pause. "Ms. Walsh, we've been trying to reach you. Your signature verification..." "What signature verification?" "The notary confirmed your identity on the 18th, but our office policy requires additional verification for remote signings. The closing is scheduled for tomorrow." "I was in Portland on the 18th, business conference at the Hilton downtown. I have receipts." A longer pause. "Ma'am, I think we need to talk." By Friday at 4:30 p.m., I was standing in front of Judge Morrison's bench, requesting an emergency temporary restraining order to stop the sale. I'd spent my last $500 on the filing fees and a brief consultation with an attorney who looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. "Your Honor," she said without much conviction, "my client believes her signature was forged on these real estate documents." Judge Morrison barely looked up from his papers. "Do you have expert analysis of this alleged forgery?" "Well, no, Your Honor, but..." "Do you have certified documentation proving the defendant's handwriting patterns?" "Not at this time, but insufficient evidence." The gavel came down with the finality of a coffin nail. Motion denied. Regular hearing scheduled for November 8th. November 8th was 3 weeks away. The sale would close Monday. In the hallway outside the courtroom, Carol Brennan, the notary public, was waiting with a sympathetic smile and a manila folder. "I'm so sorry about the confusion," she said, "but I absolutely verified your identity. You provided Oregon ID, answered personal questions about your address history. I take my job very seriously." She showed me her notary journal, my name in her handwriting, a fake ID number, all perfectly documented. "I always keep detailed records. It's required by law." "Did you keep video records?" "Oh, those are destroyed after 30 days per company policy. Privacy protection, you understand." David and Maria Hernandez, the buyers, had hired an attorney who sent me a certified letter threatening specific performance litigation if the sale didn't close on schedule. $25,000 in earnest money, plus legal costs. They were first-time homeowners who'd saved for years for this house. My hotel bill had reached $623. I'd missed 3 client presentations, putting a $15,000 contract at risk. My credit cards were approaching their limits from years of family expenses. Saturday night, alone in that scratchy hotel room with rain hammering the windows. I called my college friend Sarah. "Maybe I should just let them have it," I said. "After everything you've put into that place?" "I can't prove anything. It's just my word against a notary's journal." "Becca, you're a forensic accountant. You catch people who think they're smarter than the system every day." "That's different. That's other people's money." "No," she said firmly. "That's patterns, that's documentation, and that's what you do." I sat there holding the phone, ready to surrender. Then I remembered something from my certification training. The absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. Sometimes you just need to look in different places. Patricia Voss charged $1,500 for weekend emergency handwriting analysis, but she was worth every penny. American Board of Forensic Document Examiners certified, court-qualified, and brutally thorough. Signature forgery probability, 97.3% certainty, she said, sliding the report across her desk Sunday morning. Pressure patterns are wrong, pen lift points don't match historical samples, and there's visible tremor consistent with simulation rather than natural writing flow. The report was 47 pages of scientific analysis that would hold up in any courtroom in America. While Dr. Voss analyzed handwriting, I'd subpoenaed Carol Brennan's complete notary journal under ORS 194.164. Oregon law gives property owners inspection rights. 23 notarizations that same day, and mine was the only one showing remote verification. Every other signature required in-person appearance. Pacific Northwest Title's security footage told the real story. Their system retained recordings for 90 days, and I had legal standing to request them. October 18, 2:27 p.m. Eleanor and Marcus arriving together. Marcus signing documents while Eleanor watched. No third person present. I was never there. The title insurance company opened a fraud investigation automatically, which triggered a 10-day extension on the closing. $50,000 in coverage for title defects meant they had more to lose than I did. I filed a LAS pendens, notice of pending litigation, with the Multnomah County Recorder for $25. It clouded the title and prevented the sale from completing until the fraud investigation concluded. Pacific Northwest Title responded by filing an interpleader action, depositing the $422,000 sale proceeds with the court pending resolution. Smart move on their part. Let the judge decide who gets the money while they stayed neutral. My evidence log looked like something from a federal investigation. 1. Forensic signature analysis. Dr. P. Voss, court certified. 2. Notary journal subpoena results. 23 entries comparison. 3. Security footage. Title office 10-1824-1427-1515. 4. Title insurance fraud claim. Policy TOS PN 2024-84729115. List pendants filing. Recorder's office stamp 10-2124-6. Interpleader court filing. Case CV 2024-TX0847 for 5 years. I'd been reactive, always responding to their crises, always cleaning up their messes. For the first time since Dad died, I was being proactive, and I was very, very good at it. Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. sharp. I walked up to my front door flanked by Sheriff's Deputy Torres and Rick's mobile locksmith. The temporary restraining order, the second one, the one backed by forensic evidence, was folded in my jacket pocket along with court-certified copies of everything. Marcus dropped his coffee mug when he saw us through the window. The sound of ceramic shattering on kitchen tile I'd paid to install, was music to my ears. All parties except Rebecca Walsh are hereby ordered to vacate the premises immediately. Deputy Torres read from the court order. Any violation constitutes contempt of court, punishable by arrest. The locksmith had my deadbolts changed in 12 minutes. My keys, my house, my rules. I arranged my evidence on the kitchen table like a prosecutor presenting a case. Laptop open to security footage, forensic report, 5 years of financial records, the paper trail that would destroy them. You can't just kick us out. Marcus's voice cracked. The gambling debt had been killing him. I could see it in his bloodshot eyes, the way his hands shook. We're family. Family doesn't forge signatures. My voice was ice. Criminals do. Jennifer stared at the laptop screen, watching herself plan my destruction. Her face was pale, and I could see the moment she realized what this meant for her nursing license. The buyers will sue us for everything. Emma's college fund? You should have thought about Emma before you stole from me. Eleanor tried her maternal authority one last time, voice trembling. I raised you better than this vindictive behavior. I never wanted it to come to this, but we needed. You raised me to keep receipts, Mom. I slid the restitution agreement across the table. I kept them all. Email evidence, Marcus to Maria Santos. Realtor. Need this done fast. She gets back Monday. And can we close by Friday? Text screenshot, Jennifer to Marcus. Mom signed, notary didn't even check ID properly. We're golden. Marcus read the settlement terms, his face going gray. $150,000? I don't have that kind of money. Then you'll make payments, for the rest of your life if necessary. What about our buyers, the Hernandez family? Title insurance covers their losses. Unlike you, they didn't commit fraud. Deputy Torres stepped forward. The DA has opened case CF 2024-1891. Wire fraud carries 5 to 20 years federal time? I'm not pressing charges. I said quietly, watching their faces transform from defiance to terror. The state is... Fraud is a crime against society. Jennifer's voice was barely a whisper. What do you want from us? I want what was always mine, nothing more. I stood up, suddenly feeling 10 feet tall. And I want you to understand that actions have consequences. As they packed their belongings, in the same garbage bags they'd used for mine, I felt something shift in my chest. For 5 years, they'd treated me like a child who should be grateful for scraps. Now they knew exactly who they were dealing with. 30 days later, case closure memo, DA file, CF 2024-0891. Defendant Marcus Walsh pled guilty to fraudulent document filing under ORS 165.G55. Restitution ordered in the amount of $75,000. 18 months supervised probation. Case closed with conviction. Jennifer took a plea deal, misdemeanor conspiracy, 200 hours of community service, and $5,000 in restitution. Her nursing license was suspended for 6 months pending ethics review. Eleanor wasn't charged due to her age and cooperation with the investigation, but her retirement savings were garnished to meet the restitution requirements. The title insurance company paid out $47,000 for my legal costs and fraud damages. The interpleader action awarded me an additional $75,000 from the attempted sale proceeds. Combined with the $50,000 my family paid over 24 months, 28,333 monthly installments, automatically deducted, I recovered more than my documented losses. Marcus lost his construction job when the felony conviction came through. Jennifer's nursing career survived, barely, but she moved across state lines to start over. Eleanor moved into a senior living facility near Jennifer, one I didn't pay for. I refinanced the house at 6.2%, dropping my payment to $1,650 monthly. The market appraisal came in at $53,500, nearly $90,000 more than they'd tried to steal it for. The math was satisfying in a way only a forensic accountant could appreciate. Total value preserved, $1,700 legal costs, $12,000 mostly recovered. Net result, justice, with interest compounded. 6 months later, spring 2025, the morning sunlight streams through my kitchen window, my kitchen in my house, purchased with my money and protected by my intelligence. I'm drinking coffee from a new mug, one I chose myself from a set nobody else had any input on. The silence is profound, not empty, full of possibility, full of peace, full of the absence of drama and crisis and emergency phone calls demanding I fix someone else's poor decisions. My phone sits face down on the counter. No morning texts about rent money or medical bills or Emma's school fees. No guilt trips disguised as family updates. The quiet feels like luxury. 6 months ago, I was homeless, sleeping in a hotel room that smelled like industrial disinfectant and broken dreams. Today, I own a house worth $53,500, have $847,000 in net worth, and wake up every morning knowing that everything I see belongs to me, earned by me, chosen by me, protected by me. The garden outside is coming back to life. I planted those roses myself last weekend, spending an entire Saturday afternoon with my hands in the dirt, thinking about growth and renewal, and how sometimes you have to cut away the diseased parts for healthy things to flourish. An envelope sits on my kitchen table, Marcus's monthly restitution payment, month 6 of 24. $2833, memo line reading Property Restitution, Rebecca Walsh. I deposited into my home improvement fund without ceremony. His gambling debts cost him his career, his reputation, his family relationships. The payments are just math now. Jennifer moved to Seattle, nursing license reinstated after completing ethics courses and community service. She sends birthday cards, generic ones from the grocery store checkout line, with her new address, but no return to the intimacy we once shared. Emma starts college in the fall on academic scholarships, having learned that some money comes with too high a price. Eleanor is in assisted living now, her pride and her retirement savings both casualties of her choices. She writes letters sometimes, real letters, handwritten on flowered stationery that I read and file away. I never wanted it to end this way. She wrote last month, I just wanted everyone to be okay. I wrote back, everyone is okay. Mom, just not together. The receipts are still in labeled boxes in my home office, but they mean something different now. They're not just proof of payment, they're proof of pattern, proof of boundaries, proof that love without respect is just exploitation wearing a prettier mask. My phone buzzes. A text from Sarah Chen, the escrow officer who helped expose their fraud. We're dating now. She has integrity, which turned out to be surprisingly attractive in a world full of people who think family obligations override basic decency. Coffee later, I have news about the Portland job. I smile and type back, my kitchen or yours? 3 simple words that represent everything I fought for. Choice, agency, and the right to decide who gets access to my life and my space and my peace. Some people say you can't choose your family, Asa. They're wrong. You choose which family members get to stay in your life and which ones get escorted out by sheriff's deputies carrying court orders and forensic evidence. I chose peace, and after 34 years of chaos, peace finally chose me back. The coffee is perfect, the morning is quiet, the house is mine. That's all the justice I ever needed.